Hello and welcome to another episode of Poolzcast, and Happy New Year to everyone. Today we have Nick. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Tell us a bit about your role in your company and about the project itself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm happy to tell something about it. So my name is Nick. I'm a Chief Commercial Officer at Arkefi. We're in our road towards CGE. Did a nice launch on pools, and Arkefi is a RWA AI focused project on real world assets. So basically, what Arkefi is, we create a opportunity for, on the one hand, asset owners to extract liquidity from their illiquid assets, like assets like Picasso, Ferraris, Paganis, high value assets. And on the other side, we actually provide an opportunity for buyers to step into the Arkefi platform and to take a share or a part of the ownership of those high valuable assets from a yield perspective. So basically what Arkefi is, if you really simple it down, is a platform for asset owners to extract liquidity from their assets, selling like 50% of their assets to the external buyers, and give the asset owner a opportunity to either repurchase the remaining 50%, or if he's not able to repurchase the asset, giving the buyers an opportunity to increase their yield up to 50% based on the liquidation process of the specific asset. So from an asset perspective, that could be, for example, a Picasso that has a monetary value of around 1 million. The asset owner is able to sell it at 500K value, and the external buyers lay down the liquidity to actually take the ownership. And if the asset owner repurchases the 500K plus the premium flows back to the buyers. If the asset owner is not able to repurchase his assets, the buyers of the fractions actually take ownership of the asset and give mandates to Arkefi to sell this asset on the secondary market. And the secondary market for us is super important. Typically, these are auction houses, but as well dealerships where the car can be sold at, let's say, a value between 750 or back to the fair market value, creating a huge upside potential for the buyers in the Arkefi platform.
Nice. Now, what is, I guess, a key unique differentiator between you and the competitors? And do you identify any competitors in the space to your project?
There are some competitors, but most of them are more Web2 oriented. So based on either securities or different type of assets. I think what we have built from Arkefi's perspective is actually unique because we take asset classes that are typically illiquid and we bring them on chain based on a business model that has been proven for over centuries, right? Because if you really simplify what Arkefi is, well, some people globally would be aware of a pawn shop or a store where you actually bring in a physical asset. It gives you liquidity, and within a specific time frame, you're able to repurchase your asset. If not, the pawn shop owner is able to resell this asset. So this business model that has been around for centuries is now being brought on chain and providing an opportunity for the buyers to actually earn a sustainable yield. And compared to a lot of DeFi protocols where the yield is boosted or not based on a business process, this is what Arkefi set Arkefi apart. Because the yield that the users are actually generating is based on a real business process. Basically, the difference between the premium and the repurchase price that an asset owner has to do. So from that perspective, we don't see a lot of competitors because if you look at the RWA space, mostly about financial assets, bonds, or that kind of stuff. I think it's a good step into that direction. But I think what we're doing with Arkefi is yeah, completely disruptive compared to what we've seen so far.
Awesome. Could you tell us a little bit about your backers, partners, and if you want to mention anyone in the extended team?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the Archefi team has been building for over 5 years, originally from a company, what's called Art Banks, which is a collection management tooling where they serve over hundreds of ultra high net worth individuals for their collection management tooling with regards to art and other assets, basically providing them the insights that they need in order to make that accessible for them. So one of the key things that they were finding out back then was that financing against those illiquid assets is actually a huge market opportunity. And with the introduction of blockchain and tokenization in general, this actually creates the opportunity that Arkefi has been stepping into. On the one hand, the asset owners, providing them an opportunity to extract liquidity, and on the other hand, from a buyer perspective, to create an opportunity.
Perfect.
So if you,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
No, no, I was just saying, I thought you finished your continue.
No, I was finished.
Oh, okay. Um, Now, in terms of the roadmap, we don't need the long one, but in the next 1 or 2 months, what is upcoming for the project?
Yeah, so that's very interesting story. So what we do from Archify right now is we're now focused on our TGE launching the token, making sure that we're well positioned in, let's say, the coming months. It seems like the coming market is very interesting for us to be in the market with regards to the bull market that we're currently in. So Archify's next steps is to actually create a vibrant ecosystem. So one of the major steps that we're going to do is going to do some drops in the community itself. We're going to start with some low value assets, probably around watches or low value art pieces for the community to get engaged and gets familiar with the whole business process of Archify. So you can imagine some cool brands, some cool stuff, some cool assets to be listed on the platform for people to actually create more utility for for the Archify token. Because if you stake the Archify token, then you actually take an ownership in those assets and actually earn yield based on your stake position with the Archify token.
That's actually a good segue to the next question. So, what is like the main utility of the token for the user, and how does it lead to a revenue generation for you as a business?
Yeah, so it's the token utility is quite simple. So the token actually gives you access to the Archify environment. I'm not sure if I'm actually able to share some screen or
You
show
can if you want.
some more. Okay, then I'll show it a little bit more because I think that speaks to the imagination.
Yep.
I think you see my screen now.
Yep.
Is that correct? So we're now on the Archify website. So as you can see, this is I'm logged in into the environment as an admin. And what we have been building from an Archify perspective for the first users, which is our main priority and our focus, is around artworks and card data. So if we go, for example, to this section with regards to card data, we have built this interface for the users to actually find very interesting information because what we have been doing for the last 6 months building in stealth is providing the right insights for the market to evaluate these assets. So for demonstration purposes, I took an asset that is somewhat familiar to the market. So it's a Ferrari F40. And what we have here is basically an overview based on all the collected data from different auction houses. So it actually showcases the asset, the brand, against which pricing it has been sold on the public market. So has been data that has been around for quite some years, and now we've actually found a way to make that more accessible for everyone. So some interesting topics that we see here is the amount of auctions that has been sold, the average price of this specific asset, and I think what's even more interesting is actually the price above estimate. So this actually means that if you look at the history of this specific asset based on all selling that has been done from this asset, we can determine the low estimate, basically what's the minimum value in the market, as well as the 50% acquisition price based on the specific asset. So if we and the community buy an asset at 50% of the acquisition price, and we take an ownership stake into this, you see that in the whole history of the Ferrari F40, there hasn't been a car sold below the 50, 60, or 80% range. That means that if the asset becomes available through the Arkefi platform, where you as a user and token holder have access to, you can see all the data points and all the information to make a well-founded decision to participate in a specific asset. So we provide you with all the insights, all the data points for you to level up your portfolio. By investing in Arkefi, you basically have access to these high valuable assets and a yield portfolio that is unheard in this market based on the low risk factor that we actually create. So it's not boosted, it's real yield, and this is where we're going to focus on and going to forward towards the next stage with regards to Arkefi.
Great. Thank you for that. Next question is about community. Do you have any campaigns or test nets or something for the users to? I mean, your token is launching soon, but has there been any campaigns or something for the users to participate and, I don't know, receive some sort of a reward?
Yeah, so we did the first asset listing on the platform itself. So our platform is already up and running, has been battle tested. The first asset listing has been created. So what we're planning to do next to the asset listing is also to create staking and liquidity mining campaigns for the community to step in, to provide an incentive, to provide rewards. And we're also going to introduce a new concept, which is community market making. So instead of the market makers in this domain, we actually provide an opportunity for the community to participate in the campaigns with regards to on-chain market making. This is a new concept, and not a lot of projects have exposure to this, but this gives an additional utility for the Arkefi token. Because that means if you take a position into this market making opportunity that we provide, it actually creates an additional yield opportunity for the token holders. So to summarize it, we're going to launch a staking campaign. We're going to launch liquidity mining campaigns soon after the TGE that will happen tomorrow, as well as introducing some completely new feature, which is the community liquidity market making services that we're going to roll out.
Perfect. Now, final question is, your IDO is coming soon to pools and also listing followed by that. Any information on listing or any alpha you want to share with the community?
Yeah, so the IDO has already been done on the platform of Pools, quite successful. So the next step is actually to have the exchange listings. So we're going to do a more sustainable approach towards the exchanges. So we're going to launch on one exchange. That will be MXC. The announcement has just been made, and that will be the first step. The next step is to actually expand on the next exchanges. I cannot tell which one, but I think you can expect that we're going to expand our exposure and make Arkefi token broader accessible.
Okay, sure. So thank you for the first part, the Q&A section, and I would like to give you a couple of minutes if you want to share anything with the community of pools, something I have missed maybe in my questions.
Yeah, no, I think we were very excited to get listed on Pools. I think we have seen a lot of track record of successful projects on the Pools platform and ecosystem. So happy to be part of it. The sale has been closed right now, so if you were not able to participate, yeah, I would like to advise you to head over to the Arkefi community and find ways to become part of our larger ecosystem. Like we said, we're going to start with some interesting new listings on the Arkefi platform, which with assets that speak to the imagination, some content that's going to be very engaging to provide enough educational content, and then we're going to scale out. And I think the good thing with Arkefi is that we already have a revenue projection. As of now, we have 200 million of assets ready to be financed through the Arkefi platform. So that means that we're not just an empty shell or just a token company, but we're actually focused on revenue generation. And this revenue generation flows back to the token holders because part of the revenue that's going to be created through the Arkefi platform, based on the business model that has been around for centuries, we're going to incentivize the community to not only provide liquidity in the asset listings itself, but as well different ways of gamification on how we can actually educate people in the concept of option financing, which is a very complex, well, which is a slightly complex concept. So I will not dig too deep into it, but there are so many ways for people to get exposure to Arkefi. And with Arkefi, we create a way to have more composability towards DeFi. The reason why I say this, Arkefi has been based on a real yield component. There are not a lot of projects out there that can actually facilitate this. So imagine this real yield component with the composability of DeFi. So we can actually create an ecosystem based on real yield combined with the boosted and the DeFi yields that we see with the likes, for example, Pendle or Hyperdrive, where you can actually accelerate the whole yield components for the Arkefi token holders.
Perfect.
So yeah,
Thanks
I
a lot.
think very excited. We have high value assets ready to be financed, assets from Porsche, Picassos, Paganis, all different type of assets that we are going to be listed on the platform soon, and I'm really looking forward to get engaged with the Pools community as well.
Thanks a lot, Nick. A lot of great information shared today. I'm sure the community is very excited, and we also, on behalf of the Pools community, wish you all the best for your listing.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.